Well, good morning, Junior Church. It is a bright, sunny autumn day today, so I thought I'd take the opportunity in between the rain showers to get outside. Now, this week we are going to have a Junior Church rewind. Now, the video you are about to see was filmed back in May when we were in lockdown. Can you remember that far back? Well, let me set the scene. The weather was warm and sunny. Gardens were blooming with beautiful colours, and the birds were super noisy because the world was so quiet, and the sky was an endless blue, actually a bit like it is today. Now, when I filmed this, I was feeling pretty fed up of lockdown, but then one night we were looking up and watching the stars, and it reminded me of God, how big He is, how He created the world, and that although the world seemed to have paused in lockdown, creation hadn't. It was all around us, changing, making us smile, showing us God's creative beauty, and it made me feel safe. And it just reminded me that God is still here with us. Now, I wanted to share this video with you again because although we're in a different season, the world around us has burst into different colours, into golds, as you can see, and reds and oranges, and creation in autumn is awesome. God is still greater than our current situation, and He is still with us. We just need to look around us. So enjoy the 7 awesome days of creation. Now, I reckon you're probably pretty familiar with this story. We have 7 days, and on each day, God does something different. He creates a brand new thing. But have you ever let's just slow it down a little bit, because actually each of these things are pretty incredible in themselves. So I thought, let's do this story again, but we're going to do some wow facts at the same time. And because creation can make you just go, wow, God is awesome. So let's start at the beginning on day 1. So day 1, God created light. Now, here's my wow fact about light. Did you know that light is very, very fast? In fact, it travels a lot faster than me. It travels at 186,282.4 miles per second. Wow, it took me a long time, faster than I can say that. It slows down as it hits different mediums such as glass and air and water, but it is super fast. In fact, it takes light 1.255 seconds to get from the Earth to the Moon. That's like this long, approximately. That is incredible, isn't it? It's so quick. So that is my first wow fact about light. On day 2, God created the sky. Now, do you know that the sky appears blue to us because blue light travels in shorter, smaller waves, so we see the colour as blue? And did you also know that the highest clouds that we see in the sky, well, there aren't any today because it's a lovely day, are actually about 7.5 miles away from where you're stood on Earth? So here's some homework for you. Have a little think about what is 7.5 miles away from your house, and that is about how far the highest clouds are from you. Well, it's day 3, and on day 3 God created the dry land, the plants, the trees, and also the seas. We'll come to the seas in a moment. Did you know, here's the wow fact, there are 60,000 different kinds of trees on the earth, and with the sea, water covers 70% of the Earth's surface. Did you know that there are actually mountain ranges under the sea? Yes, it is that deep. And actually, as a human race, we have only explored 5% of the oceans, so there's still so much to learn about the sea, which is really cool. Now, I couldn't do this little film clip down at the beach, so we thought we'd go for the next best thing. And as you know, I like bodyboarding, so we're gonna give this a try. Okay, let's have a go. Are we ready? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's day 4, and on day 4, God created the stars and the moon. Now, here's some wow facts about the stars and the moon. Did you know that there are more stars in the whole universe than there are if you counted every single grain of sand on every beach in the whole world? That is a lot of stars. Now, we can't see all of them at night, but if you look up at a star, you are looking at something that is 19 quadrillion miles away from Earth. That's pretty impressive. Now, the moon goes around the Earth every 27 days. It does an orbit, and you can see tonight the moon's actually really, really bright, and you can see the craters on the moon as well from where it's been blasted by asteroids. The moon is 4.5 billion years old, and that is actually, if you combine Steve's age with Jane's age, it's actually more than that. I'm going to be in so much trouble. And last really, really wow cool fact about the moon is that the gravitational pull from the moon to the Earth actually makes our tides go in and out. So those are our wow facts about the stars and the moon. Now, day 4 was a busy day because God also created the sun. Now, here's some wow facts about the sun. Now, did you know that the temperature of the sun is about 15 million degrees, a lot hotter than it's been here today? But sunlight can reach a depth of 80 metres right into the ocean. Now, the sun is classed as a star, but it's only an average sized star, but it is 110 times wider than the Earth, so it's massive. And the thing the sun does is it keeps the Earth warm enough for living things like us and the plants and the trees and everything else to grow. It's day 5, and on this day, God created the birds, the fish, and the sea creatures. So let me tell you some facts about these things that will make you go, wow. Okay, so did you know that there are 30,000 different species of fish, and they are all different shapes and sizes? Now, you might have heard of a fish called tuna, but did you know that a tuna can swim up to 43 miles per hour? That is pretty fast for a fish. Now, let's talk about the birds. Here's a little bird here. Now, birds can fly, but not all of them can fly, but they can also run, jump, swim and dive. In fact, there is a bird called a Peregrine Falcon, which can dive at speeds of up to 242 miles per hour. Now, that is faster than a racing car. Our biggest bird on Earth is do you know what it is? It's the ostrich, and ostriches can grow till they're 9 feet tall. That is pretty big. And our smallest bird on Earth is a hummingbird. Now, hummingbirds only grow till about they're 2 inches tall, which is about the size of this little pirate that I have here. Now let's talk about sea creatures. Now, you'll know that the whale is the biggest sea creature, and they can grow up to 30 metres long. But did you know that their tongue weighs the same as an elephant? That is a big tongue. And did you also know about dolphins? Now, we're discovering more and more about these. Yes, we are. And that we know that they're very, very clever creatures. And the more people have studied them, they've realised that when dolphins are surfing the waves, they're actually doing it for fun, like you would when you're on your holidays. It's day 6, and on day 6, God created, ta-da! All of the animals, both big and small, that live on the land, including little insects like this one. Now, this is a little ladybird here, but here's a fact to make you go, wow. Did you know that in the world there are over 5,000 different species of ladybird? That's incredible. Do you know what the fastest animal on Earth is? Yes, you might already do. It's the cheetah. The cheetah is the fastest animal on the Earth. And do you know what the slowest one is? Now, you might be naming the members of your family at the moment, but it's not them. It is, in fact, a sloth. Now, a sloth is rather cute and it lives in the trees. And I found out this week that the sloth comes down from the trees once a week to do what? Do you know what? To do a poo. And then when it's done that, it goes back up the tree for the rest of the week. However, God created something else on the 6th day. Do you know what that was? That's right, it was you. And human beings are the most amazing things, and we're still learning more and more about our own bodies. Here are some facts about your bodies to make you go, wow. So, did you know that your nose can detect 1 trillion different smells? Did you know that you breathe 23,000 times per day and that your heart beats about 100,000 times per day? Did you know that nobody else, if you look at the ends of your fingers, has the same fingerprint as you? You are unique. You're a one of a kind. When babies are born, they have over 300 bones in their bodies, but adults only have 206. And this is because as we grow up, some of our bones fuse together. Our brains. Do you know that your brain produces enough electricity to power a light bulb? And in your body, all your veins, if you put all of your veins and your capillaries and your arteries all together, do you know how far they would stretch? They would actually stretch 100,000 miles, which is pretty impressive. Now, I was trying to put this into context and I looked up how much the Earth's circumference was, so how far it is to go all the way around the Earth, and this is only 24 or nearly 25,000 miles. So you've got all of those blood vessels inside your body. That is incredible. And you know what? In Psalm 139, God actually tells us, well, the psalmist tells us about how incredible our bodies are, because it says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that is something that makes me go, wow, because I just think it's amazing that all of these years later, we are still learning more and more about the human body. And on day 7, yes, God rested, which tells me that God thinks it's pretty important that we rest too, despite all the busyness of life. So my challenge for you this week is to have a think about what in creation makes you go, wow! Because there are so many incredible things out there for you to look at and discover. So what makes you go, wow? And one way that you could do that is to get a blank sheet of paper and pretend that you are the creator. And I would love you to draw or paint or make or model a picture of what makes you go wow about creation. If you don't like painting or crafty things like that, then maybe you can make it out of Lego, out of building bricks. You decide. So if you are stuck for inspiration, here are some people from our church telling us what makes them go wow about creation.
What makes me go wow about creation is the beautiful colours.
What makes me go wow about creation is the sun in the sky shining bright and the trees all around me.
What makes me go wow about creation is the stars.
What makes me go wow about creation are all the beautiful colours in the flowers that are now growing.
One thing that makes me go wow about creation is these gorgeous flowers.
So what makes you go wow about creation? Why don't you chat and catch with God about it this week? Tell him what your favourite creation fact is, or you could tell him what your favourite animal is. And why don't you ask him what animal he had the most fun creating, or what he did on the 7th day when he rested. Have an amazing week, and I pray blessing on you and your families and your schools. May God bless you and keep you safe. Bye.